So what does it sound like? Okay, so you probably know what a loudspeaker looks like. Little ones like these, or maybe bigger boxier ones like these. Speakers didn't always look like this though. Back in the early days of radio, they looked rather more like the horns on old gramophones. This one needs a bit of work, but I can probably get it working. I picked it up recently at Retrotech UK. I'd like to get the vintage speaker to work, so I'm wondering if I can make use of these old desktop speakers. Before I open them up, please note that I am not an expert and this video is for entertainment only. It is not a tutorial. These speakers run off a little transformer, so there should only be low voltages and currents inside, not dangerous mains ones. These round things are the drivers which actually make the sound. The drivers need to be connected to an amplifier, which can be a separate box. But these speakers have the amplifier circuit built into one of the boxes. It amplifies the signal for both drivers. Dead spiders are optional though. This vintage speaker has a driver too. It's this unit here. Goes into the horn like this. Now I did show one of these that I had borrowed in this previous video, but the one I'm using today I bought myself a while back in an antique shop. So can I just disconnect the driver here and connect the vintage one? How can I tell if it's compatible or not? The marking here is the driver's impedance, which is rated in ohms. It means this driver is a 4 ohm one. Other common values are 8, 16 and sometimes 32 ohm. Now looking at the back of this other driver, there is another value which is the power rating. This is marked in watts. Ideally, the vintage driver would be rated the same for both impedance and power, but it has no markings at all. I don't know a simple way to measure the power rating of a driver, so I'll concentrate on impedance for the moment. Fortunately, although it is often marked on the back of the driver, impedance can easily be checked with the DC resistance setting on a multimeter. The reading won't necessarily quite match, but it's usually close enough to tell. So what is the impedance of this vintage driver? Not reading anything, so I'll increase the scale. Wow, that's a lot of impedance. Looks to be just over 3000 ohms. Back in the early days of radio, drivers often had impedances of 1000 ohms or more, as this was suitable for the valve amplifiers they were connected to. With modern semiconductor based amplifiers like this one, too much impedance will cause the output to be very quiet, and too little impedance can cause the system to draw too much current, which can damage the electronics. Okay, so as this vintage driver has too much impedance, about 750 times too much, it should still be okay to connect up, but will there be any sound? I'm disconnecting the other driver also, so there is no chance of accidentally hearing anything from that. This little CD player will provide the input signal. The amplifier is connected to the line out. As I'm expecting it to be very quiet, I've got this cheap USB mic as close as I can. Its gain knob is turned all the way up to try and pick up the signal. This is my Tascam audio recorder and it's connected to this overhead mic. The overhead mic is quite far away, but it will be interesting to hear what it picks up. I'm going to boost it 20 dB in post-production to give it a chance. Start the CD. The USB mic is hearing it, but very faintly. All the camcorder and overhead mic can hear though is the noise of the CD player and me breathing. At least the vintage driver works. How can I make it louder though? Fortunately, there is something which can help. This device is known as an output transformer. They are often found in old valve-based equipment to allow modern low impedance drivers to be used with older high impedance amplifier designs. An output transformer can also be used to connect a modern amplifier to a high impedance driver. Used like this, the high resistance primary coil is connected to the driver and not the amplifier. That's better. It's much louder via the USB mic. The camcorder is picking it up a bit too. The overhead mic also picks it up, but just barely. This is still being boosted 20 dB in the video editor. If you are enjoying this video, then please give it a like. Thanks. The headphone socket might work better as it has its own extra amplification circuit. The volume control on the CD player needs to be turned up though. It's a bit louder, and you can see that on the Tascam's display on the right. It's certainly coming out loudly through the USB mic now. Okay, time to try it with the big horn. What do you think? How does it sound to you? Should I stick with this vintage driver? Or should I upgrade to a modern Bluetooth one? Let me know in the comments. If you have enjoyed this video, then you might like this one. Thanks, and see you in the next one.